Hi, this is Barbara Sanders, and this is my new YouTube channel, Sacred Metamorphoses. And please subscribe if you'd like. We'd love to have you listen to more of these. I've interviewed 3 people or conversed with 3 people. I don't call them interviews, but conversing. And you can find them on the channel as well. I want to introduce, I'm going to say it correctly, Amanda Buckhout Defenthaler. Is that correct? Okay. She used to be Amanda Buckhout, and now she's Defenthaler, and I think that's a beautiful name as well as Buckhout. And first, I would like to do a short meditation to get me into a good space here, and hopefully you too. And then I'd like to introduce you. Then I'd like you to introduce yourself, since you know much more about yourself than I do, and then we can talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. Is that okay?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I've got everything going. Okay, so let's just, if you want, close your eyes just for a moment. And I'd like to open this sacred space for this conversation by calling in any and all of the gods and goddesses available, any of our spirit guides, the elements like fire, air, earth, and water, and spirit. I'll call in the directions of north, south, east, and west. And I also like to call in any elemental creatures like fairies and sprites, our ancestors, to help us as we look at our lineage and live out our destinies and our lineage. And just breathe and be here now, as Ram Dass would say, and open up this sacred space for a wonderful time with Amanda. Thank you. So, Amanda, I don't know a whole lot about you, but I'll say some things about what I do know. I first was introduced to you online because of Healy. Is my Healy. During the pandemic, Tammy Roth was talking about Healy with people, and Amanda and she put on an online sort of course, but more of assistance to us who didn't know anything about that. And Healy is a frequency device that you can talk about more if you want to. Then I took a course from Amanda called Shakti Moon, and I have such an interesting story to tell you, Amanda. So in this course, she and her father made us, if we wanted, some beautiful crescent moons. And she made me one and sent it to me. And I looked at that moon, and then we started the class, and I was watching Amanda and her amazing artistic talent. And I'm not an, I shouldn't say that. We should never say we're not artists, but I'm a creative person. Art is not my one specialty. But when I saw that moon, and we would do meditations in this course, all I could think about this moon being was red moon with dripping blood. And I think I told you that in the course. And I thought, well, I can paint it red, yes, but I can't do dripping blood. I don't know what all that was about at that point. However, I did know something later. And that's about 8 to 10 months later. My great niece came and visited me in Florida with her family. And I gave her the red crescent moon and said, Ella, you do with this what you'd like. And she was so excited. We sat out on the deck with the birds and the breezes, and she made this beautiful beach scene with beach and palm trees and birds. And she wrote these words on it that I can't say correctly because I'm not down there right now, but it was something like, this beach house with a family in it became a beach home. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So the crescent moon is now in that Florida home and with her painting. And it's just magical and very touching that she was able to do that for us and for herself. The other thing I know about Amanda is that she, at least for 2 years, I think, has run a frequency festival down in the Forgotten Coast of Florida. And she can tell you more about that because it sounds terrific. And each time I think I signed up the first year, but each time she's had these in August, I'm not there at the time. So I've missed them, but that's part of what I know about you, other than you're a very knowledgeable, skillful, and wonderful teacher and mentor. I appreciate you. Tell us about you and what you'd like to talk about.
Thank you, Barbara. I adore you. I love how much time we got to spend together through Healy and my course that you took. You're just such an amazing presence, and I'm so excited for you and your conversations and your channel. Yeah, my name is Amanda. I have been an artist for a really, really long time, and my background is in art and fine art. And I also had to go on a healing journey starting about 6 years ago because my whole body was in a lot of pain. And it just got to a point where I just felt horrible all the time. And I had to like make a drastic change in my life. So I started doing yoga and eventually started taking yoga teacher training. And then now I'm a yoga instructor. But that whole experience of like choosing my health over my pain and taking action really took me out of the art realm and teaching at the college level and moved me into just focusing on being in my body and being with myself and like letting all the things heal and, allowing the pain to come up and through. And then over time, I began to merge all of my loves together, right? I love how, using our frequency devices have, for at least me, made me more conscious of being in a coherent state and really inviting like all parts of me to work together as one. And then the same can be said for like our lives. Like for a long time, I really compartmentalized like, oh, this is my healing and wellness journey over here. And here's the people that and then over here is my art, and over here's my family, and over here's and it was like all compartmentalized. And eventually I began just bringing it all together. It's like, all of this belongs, this is all me, and it gets to just all be in one container. And so that's where the art courses came in. That's where this frequency revival thing that happened for 2 years came in. It was like, I just want to express myself fully in all the ways that I love to express myself and just see what happens. And so, yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. And like the frequency wellness tools and building community around that was so important for my healing journey and to move out of pain really significantly, and so that has been a beautiful addition to my life. And beyond the devices, it's like it becomes a way of being, just like yoga practice or art practice. Like you learn the foundational postures or elements and principles, and then you begin to just apply them to every part of life, right? And so for me recently, it's just been this mindfulness around being coherent, being as present as possible with all parts working together as one. And yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. I'm also a mother and a wife, and it's, yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you.
Thank you. And I forgot to say, she has a website called divinefem.com.
Yeah.
You can look at all the things she does. And I don't know what you're doing these days or focusing on, but can you tell us more about if a person heard you and wanted to say, I need to get to know her or work with her? What are you offering these days for people? And why do they even look into talking with you or taking a class or course from you? Do you know more about that?
Yeah. Well, I am a unique flavor. Some people like to be around me and resonate with what I have to offer, and some people don't. And so I just am welcoming to anybody who really feels in resonance with the work that I do. Most recently, I have been very, very enamored, in love, and inspired by dragons. And so after Shakti Moon, which happened at the very, very beginning of 2024, I stepped out of the closet and in service to the benevolent dragons. The elemental benevolent dragons are not like the dragons that need to be slain because they're hoarding the wealth, right? That's a very Western side of what these beings are. But in reality, they are these magical, vibrant, inspiring, imaginative creatures that are really, you know, a high vibrational frequency band that I like to personify as a physical dragon, right? And I have been playing with them a lot. And so for me, I think what's most alive for me is that relationship between high vibrational frequencies, creativity, and imagination with dragons. And so what I am good at is being an activator for you to remember your magic and your radiance, right? And so it's not like me doing anything for you. It's just me creating a space where you can play and remember that you are like this magical, mystical being. And I like to take people on journeys, energetic journeys, to invite them to remember that they are like these really high vibrational beings, and that there's actually a lot of dormancy kind of being held in our DNA that can be activated and come back online in this lifetime, in this 3D reality, in this, you know, on this planet, in these bodies, that can then inform and ripple out to make the world a more magical place. And one more thing with that, and I know another reason people like to work with me, is I'm really interested in liberation. And the dragons are really beautiful at making liberation playful, where it's like, we got to get free, right? We have to liberate ourselves from our chains, these limited beliefs, this oppressive systems and patterns that reside within us and all around us. And the dragons, it's like, you can just break your chains. You can just fly free. You can just rise up. And of course, it's like deep work to like come out of your trauma body and rise up. And when we use our imagination to do the work, it becomes more fun. So that's what I like to do.
Well, I'd forgotten about your dragons because I'm on her email list, which you can get on too, and I've gotten lots of information about the dragon courses or classes or activations you've been doing. And have always loved dragons, and I haven't done those courses or classes or activations with you. Part of me, and I didn't check this out with you, so this can be weird and you can say no. Would you like to do an imaginative meditation with me and go into the dragon world? I mean,
Yeah,
is that putting you on the spot?
that sounds beautiful. Actually, when you invited us to kind of call in some of our guides and ancestors and elementals, this new dragon that I just started working with, I call her Para. She swirled in, and so she's here with us. And so Para is named Para because she is a parasympathetic nervous system support dragon.
Okay, that's a big long term and I love it. And tell us what that means.
So, so our parasympathetic nervous system is the part of our nervous system that is restful and trustworthy and grounded. It's like oh, I'm safe. I'm safe. In like an embodied felt safety and relaxation, right? So the sympathetic nervous system is going to be the fight or flight or fawn or freeze, right? It's what most people move through the world as, because of the way that our society has just made us all work hard and be busy and get it done and make more money. And, you know, just like that vibration will get us out of our regulated state. And so for me, it's, and of course the devices, the Healy devices, are really supportive with the vagus nerve and regulating our nervous system. And more recently, about a month ago, a little over a month ago, I had like this big shakeup experience where I just totally got off of my like safe space within. Like my nervous system got really shook up, and I hadn't felt that fear, that fight or flight experience embodied in a while, because I have been so mindful of my frequency. And so I was just doing all of the practices to get myself back to feeling safe in my body. And, you know, that was yoga, that was creativity, that was using my frequency devices, breath work. And it really wasn't until I got playful with it, with the dragons, and this dragon came through, and she's like, she's like a dark blue, like indigo blue with like sort of luminous turquoise blue light kind of running through her body. And she wrapped herself around me and was like, you are safe, honey. You are so safe. And I've got you. And you can come back. And as soon as she came in, I was able to stay regulated. And it was just, I mean, it's just interesting, right? When we have alchemized ourselves into this new state of being where we're like moving through the world and we feel safe and we feel healthy and we feel at ease or whatever it is. And then we like go into like something happens and we like go into this space where it used to be our normal, but now it's so not normal. And it's like, oh gosh, I remember like being in that state for like years, but now I have all the tools. How can I come back? So that's
Yeah.
the long story about her.
Thank you. And isn't that just like life? I mean, since I've been semi-retired, I went down to Florida and spent 6 months of the last year and just sat and breathed and quiet and beautiful darkness and light. And anyway, down in that area is a magical place for me. And so I come back to the city and in this new state, right, of calm and peace and love and compassion. And it happens to the best of us because we're human. All of a sudden, something happens that knocks me off balance. And like you, it's like, oh, I used to live that way a lot of my time. And now that I've had a taste of a little bit longer term of this peaceful, calm, centered, grounded space, that feels so bad to me now. And like you, I will do anything and everything I can, not to avoid it or distract from it, but deal with it and let the feelings and everything come, all of our parts come and let them flow through and recognize them and do dream work about them and do journaling about them, whatever we need to do. And then when we can go back into this lovely new state of frequency and balance, it's like heaven. And I don't believe in heaven and hell, but it's like heaven would be to me, or paradise. It's like a calming down of the whole system. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And if you want to just take a little journey with that dragon, so I want to offer you and anybody else who chooses to watch this a type of breath. It's called Brahmari breath, and we won't do the closing off of orifices. We'll just practice the humming. But essentially, Brahmari breath is really, really beautiful for nervous system regulation because it activates the vagus nerve. And so what it feels like, and I'll cue it at some point during our adventure, our journey, but essentially, you would take a really slow, deep inhale. And as you inhale from the base of the spine, you kind of tighten the perineum, and then you tighten the core, and then you lift the chest, and then you bring the breath all the way up and you kind of hold it up nice and full. And then you put your tongue on the top of your palate, and then you you hum it all the way back down. And after you're done all the way, then you kind of just hold it out for a moment and just feel that vibration. So humming is really, really good for the nervous system as well. It's just, it vibrates your whole being audibly, right? And it just brings you into the present moment and it supports the nervous system. So we'll do that a little bit at the end, but let's play for a minute. Why not? I mean,
Okay. And one thing I want to say is I've noticed on Zoom, which we're doing this on before I put it on YouTube, sound gets canceled out a lot of times. So if we only hear you humming or me humming or whatever, it's that we're both doing it. We just only hear one person. And
right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So if you don't hear the humming,
that's
know
okay.
that it's humming.
See us doing our thing. That's great. And the people
Yeah.
who are listening to this could do it too, if they're listening and wanting to go on this little journey with us.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Let's
Okay.
go. You want to do it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
beautiful. Okay, so this is a beautiful, safe mini journey, meeting a lovely, benevolent, magical, supportive dragon. And I invite you, if you feel safe to do so, to play in this imaginary space and just let yourself be in awe and wonder and curiosity. So if you'd like to just naturally elongate your spine and draw the shoulders down along the ears. And of course, at any time during this, you can move around. You can intuitively move your body if you wish. Just do what you wish.
Hold
So
on just
for
a second.
yourself,
Let me cross my legs. That'll help me feel more comfortable.
there you go.
And
Yeah.
this is really important, I believe, in any kind of meditation, to get into a comfortable body position initially. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So feeling comfortable in your body and really tune into the base of your spine and where you're sitting and your sits bones, right? The bottom of your pelvis, and really let all of that settle and ground in and feel your body in space. Notice your senses. Notice your breath, just easily moving in and out of the body. Notice your mind just following the breath and following along this journey. And if you go somewhere else, just find my voice again and come back. And just notice your emotional state, the flow of emotions happening within you right now, and just let them be. Let yourself feel your feelings. And then notice your energy, your prana, your life force flowing all throughout you and all around you. And just notice the quality of your energy now. Inviting all of this to come together as one. And begin to slow and deepen into your breath. And then imagine from the base of your spine, a beautiful dragon tail beginning to grow from the base of your spine. It's safe. It's like an anchor. It's like a taproot. And this energetic expression is going to support you in grounding into this experience so that it can be embodied, so that you can bring it into your body. So imagine this beautiful dragon tail coming from the root, moving down through the seat, down through the floor, down through your home, your foundation, and reaching the rich soil of the earth. And allow the tail to continue to draw down through the earth until it arrives at the crystalline core, the beautiful center of this glorious planet. And allow that to be your root system, to support you. Allow it to flow and branch out as it wishes. And then coming back into the body, the rest of the spine. And notice if you want to place hands anywhere on your body. Maybe you want to place hands on heart or womb or belly, maybe shoulders. Maybe you want to tap. Or if you practice Reiki, you can go there just for yourself. And just take a breath here. Feeling grounded, feeling activated. And tune into your nervous system. And if you're not sure what that means, just notice if you feel safe, or maybe you feel afraid. If you feel like you are grounded, alive, in your true power, safe to express yourself fully, or if you feel like you're not safe, or you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, or you feel like you want to run away or hide, just notice anything that is happening within your nervous system and just allow it, and place hands or make any movements that you wish to support yourself in this true space of how you feel. Yeah. And now in your mind's eye or sensing, notice yourself open up to a little bit of wonder as you can tune into this beautiful, radiant light that you emanate within your body and all around you. See, sense, or feel that you have these beautiful rivers of light flowing down your limbs, in your neck, in your chest, in your back. And if it feels good, place a color on these rivers of light. These are your nadis or your meridians. And just imagine, maybe you physically look down and imagine that you have rivers of light moving through your whole being now. And what color are they? And just notice the aliveness you feel as you remember that you are an energy body and you are a water body, as well as an earth body, right? So the water flowing throughout your body is moving this energetic light, this radiance all throughout you. And then notice the radiance begin to emanate outside of your body, creating a beautiful sphere of light and radiant energy, swirling, pulsing. This is your prana, your life force, the many rivers, your beautiful field around you. And then this becomes this gorgeous egg or portal for you to reside in a safe space. And so just notice yourself in this safe space. And then I want you to imagine, if it feels safe, a beautiful, beautiful blue dragon beginning to approach you. The dragon wants you to know that you are fully safe, fully protected in this moment. You can soften your seat. You can soften your jaw. You can soften your shoulders. And just allow a little bit of magic and wonder into your life now. Breathing in as this dragon approaches you. Maybe you see it in your mind's eye. Maybe you feel it. Maybe you just pretend that you can see and feel it. This beautiful, magical blue dragon has a elongated, thin face. She has sweet eyes that turn up on the outsides. She has brilliant, luminous blue light streaming through her body. From the tip of her nose to the tip of her tail, it streams, and it looks like the light that is in your body. Your luminous nadis, your rivers of light, your meridians. You share this radiance and magic with this benevolent dragon. And she begins to swirl around this egg shape that is your auric field. She begins to dance with your auric field. She wraps around, not squeezing you, just around your auric field, giving you plenty of room to feel spacious and free to move around. Maybe you look up and around your body through your mind's eye, noticing the streams of light and beauty wrapping you up. This dragon's name is Para. And Para is whispering to you now, darling, you are safe. Exhale. You are safe. Soften into the wisdom within you. Soften into the truth of who you are. And allow the radiance of you to dissolve any stuck energy now and let it be fed through that beautiful dragon tail that you grew. Let anything that does not serve your most radiant path be drawn down, down, down into that taproot, all the way to the core of the earth now. And allow Mother, Sister Earth to take that stuck energy and make it something new and vibrant to serve you, to assist you in continuing to be the radiant one that you are. Take a couple of breaths here, just reveling in the magnificence of this experience. Feel the radiance and activation in your water and your energy flowing through you now. Maybe you see the colors blue, turquoise, indigo. What other colors do you see? Para smiles upon you. She reminds you that you always can call upon the magic and wonder of high vibrational frequencies that are within you and all around you at all times to support you in feeling safe, to invite you to soften into the trust of the experience of being alive on earth, here and now. Breathing in, breathing out. You have support of so many benevolent beings around you. Allow yourself to deepen into a relationship with the multidimensional aspects of who you are. Para begins to swirl away from your auric field. And maybe you see or sense her flying off into the distance, a beautiful, radiant blue light. She looks back and smiles, and you feel yourself in your body. The taproot begins to unwind, and you begin to bring it back up, up, up through the fertile soil of Mother, Sister Earth, up, 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 until you are as you are in your body. And now I invite you to practice Brahmari breath, which is a vagus nerve activation supporting your parasympathetic nervous system. So we'll do 2 rounds, and it's okay. Whatever it is, it's all good. So we'll just take an easy breath in. Exhale, just easy breath out. Closing the mouth on your inhale from the base of your spine, pulling up the very bottom, engaging the core. Breathe into the chest, up into the crown. Another sip of air, feeling so full. And then put the tongue on the top of your mouth and hum. Buzzing. Soften into the buzzing. When you feel ready, hold it at the bottom. Hold the breath out and soften and feel spacious and empty. You are safe. You are trustworthy. When you feel ready, back to an easy breath. Find some gentle movement in the body, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, rotating wrists and neck. Maybe a little smile for yourself for allowing yourself to be playful with this experience. And eventually beginning to open the eyes and come back.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is going to be an interesting act to follow as I try to talk past this. Thank you. I have done other journeys with you online, and you have a beautiful, remarkable way of talking and leading and facilitating. And in journeys, just to let you know, I go in deeply, and all this stuff opens up, and I love journey meditations. I love them. Some people don't. They just want to relax their bodies. It's interesting. But thank you. Would you like to hear some of what I felt or saw?
Always, Barbara. You're such a visionary. Yes.
I do see it. I don't know how to go back to the beginning. And I won't. I'll just think of what's important. Hold on. Well, one of the things this meditation brought up in me is that during the pandemic, when I was doing a lot of online meditations with different people, at one point, well, let me say before that, I'd written a poem about dragons, a dragon, years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago. And interestingly enough, the dragon is male in my poem. And it's all about me, I'm sure. But coming out of the cave and being blustery and, hearing some noise out there and being blustery and loud and fiery. And then it sees a little bitty girl, baby, crawling toward it. And it becomes like suffused with gentleness and compassion and beauty and caring. And it ends up wrapped around the little girl. So that came to my mind first. And then I had another meditation. And these, by the way, are not related to psychedelics or anything other than just imaginative journeys. Some people I know want and need other kind of sources to help, and those are great. But these were in just spiritual realms. The other journey I had was into a volcano, and so that came to mind too during this. And in the volcano, and I don't think I have it here, I'm not sure where it is. In the volcano, I dove down in there to unite with the goddess. And what came out of that was she and I, more like the dragon energy of prana, swirling around each other, like DNA almost, swirling around each other, coming out of the volcano, not fiery at all, but just beautifully calm and peaceful and energetic and excited. And so I tried to draw the swirling, and I would have it right in front of me if I was satisfied with my drawing, but I have the image in my mind. So that came to me also when you brought up prana. When you talked about the tail, dragon tail in the middle of it going down into the earth, which I love to get rooted in the dark, fertile Mother Earth soil. That was a tale of golden and yellow, like jewels going down in there, with an arrow on its tail and then coming back up, and then united with up above, because in the streams of rivers that you talked about, it had yellow, gold, and turquoise rivers coming down into my body. And then when you brought prana in, those rivers connected to her and kind of pulled her toward me. So I'm saying all that just to give an example of where I go, but also for other people to be able to let yourselves go into these and let yourselves just bypass that normal human brain, mind, left brain kinds of things, and let your right brain just take over in your heart and your body and take you places, because I do believe that's part of what heals us and brings us joy and energy, and maybe those different frequencies to raise our frequency up and be more in the spirit world as humans and be divine. And that's all I'll say. That's a lot. But anyway, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how easy it is for you to just go there. Like every time I've been doing anything with you, there's a creative journey of visioning. Some people they're like, well, I don't see anything. Right. And you're like, oh, and then I went, and I'm like, because it is like what you just said, the right brain is the intuitive wisdom, right? It's that like flow of the feminine where you just allow yourself to be taken by the divine on a journey, and you trust and you trust. And that takes practice, right? It really takes a lot of practice to trust your intuition. And so the more you show up and practice and just play, the better it becomes at alchemizing who you are. And the more often you can move through the regular world in this creative, unfolding of the divine. That's been the most fun for me, is like, taking the creativity that I only gave to like the canvas at the easel for so many years. And now it's just this embodied existence. Like, I am just a creative being. Like, life is art, right? Like, everything is the flow of the divine. And that's so nourishing.
That is, that is. And I want to say one more thing, not to interrupt you, but I did. I had another dragon journey in the past. The dragons in my earlier journeys were male. And I'm so glad Prana came, because she's female, and that felt totally different. And I won't even say in what ways, because there's so many ways, but totally different being part of a female dragon or connected to a female dragon rather than the male dragons that have all sorts of layers of masculinity from our culture, my culture that I grew up in. There's so much there. And the divine feminine and the goddess spirit really was beautiful in Prana. Thank you. Or Para is her
Well,
name.
I like that you're calling her Prana too. She could be Prana for you. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the dragons, I named them, like, I have the bliss dragon and a black dragon and a gold dragon, and their names are probably like something wild, like, and light languagey. But yeah, there are some dragons for me that come in like, and they're very feminine, and I will give them the she, her. And then there's some that feel very masculine, like the black dragon for me is masculine. But then there's some that are like androgynous or like gender fluid that you can't pin them down, as far as like their gender expression. And so I love that about dragons, where it's like, it's just across the board. And one more thing about dragons, like, it's all intuitive, play. It's like going back to your childhood wonder and being like, oh, let me just play pretend. And with like these high vibrational frequencies where it's like, ooh, can I bathe in higher vibrations in order to move through the world in ways that feel nourishing and supportive and creative? And like, if so, like, what speaks to me? Like, maybe it's mermaids, or maybe it's like water, or maybe it's, fire and like Pele and like lava, like, what is it that will support us in our journey so that we feel safe and excited to live? And for me, it just happens to be dragons, and it's a newer thing. It's been about 2 years now, but it's just so fun.
I love that you came out of the closet about your dragons. I love that. That's beautiful. And we all can do that more and more as we get more comfortable with those parts of us that are not quite conforming to the culture that we live in. And we don't have to. And my age has really helped me be able to do more of that. I'm so happy that you're such a young woman and can be in that space at a younger period of time than I was able to while I worked in corporate America. Thank you. I'm so glad for
Yeah.
you.
Well, I think that it's just, whatever age we are now, like, this is the time that this energy is really becoming just more alive. And so it's like, it can't be hidden anymore. It's like, we must express ourselves in the way that feels true. And that's part of the liberation journey. That is part of like the cosmic alignment right now. Like, we are in this beautiful portal of expansion and awakening, and there's so much old paradigm stuff just like falling, and it's like not going down easy. It's like,
Right.
and it's fun because they're like, okay, but you do need to go. Like, you gotta go. It's like, no. So that's what we're in right now.
And we can thank those parts of us and all those attachments even, or energies within us. Thank you for how you helped me survive all these many years. And it's time to move on, and you can move on too. Just, I can let you go. And that's hard and wonderful. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And to honor. Yeah. And like, and allow, you're a family constellation person too. And like, just the idea around it all belongs.
All the ones.
It all belongs. And we get to position ourselves to surround ourselves with what we wish to be in resonance with, because that's who we are. And everything else gets to exist. And maybe it doesn't have as much of an impact on us because we're just not allowing it to. It's like, get to position ourselves in the field to where we're meant to be and work with the energy that's going to support us and nourish us. And whatever everybody's journey is perfect.
Right. And we're going to have to close in a minute. So I'd like to give a shout out actually to a retreat that we're going to in October at St. George Island at Mother Ocean Retreats. And Tammy Roth and Janet Tuck, and I believe Michelle Hall even, is part of this Family Constellations retreat. And there may even be a couple of spaces left. So if anybody wants to look at tammyroth.com or Janet Tuck's website, I'm not sure what hers is, come with us and be at the beautiful beach and do constellations with us, because I'm not a trained family constellations person, but I love being in that space too. That's a whole quantum field area that I just find so much juicy energy in. And I think it has really added to my just loving life and all the vibrations and all the energies.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Uh,
So we have to end soon. Tell me some things you would like to say about yourself,
I'll-
add to.
well, I wanted to add to the shout out for the constellation retreat. You said earlier that, you don't need psychedelics or altered states of consciousness to arrive in these really magical, mystical realms energetically. And family constellation work is another one of those modalities that is a sober experience. And it's so powerful and can feel like you're in an ayahuasca ceremony with how potent it is, but you're just yourself. And so, I think it's so beautiful to be able to just be who you are without the addition of extra stuff to alter you. Of course, I honor and adore plant medicine ceremonies and will do that until it's not time to anymore occasionally. But I think it's just beautiful to feel safe and trustworthy within yourself and know that you have the magic and you can activate it just by being yourself.
Right. I will say that those sacraments or medicines can help you get there also in terms of starting even that process of being able to do it without them.
Yeah.
Really helping you go deep down and way up and being able to be in touch with your body. And my thing is embodying grace these days, and anything that helps me embody grace and illuminate liberation is my heart. So thank you, Amanda. I appreciate you. I had no idea this is where we would be going today, but I was excited nevertheless. And I'm going to listen back to this myself and see what happened.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Barbara.
And if you want to get in touch with Amanda, it's divinefem.com. She's in Tallahassee, Florida, and is available online and in person, I guess, maybe. Or do you do some in person too?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right. And I'll close the sacred space. Thank you. Bye-bye.